What is the target audience for Disney ABC's The View? Well, you would think it should be women, right? So therefore, everything going on that show that women should just fall in love with. Well, I decided to ask some of the ladies of the Renegade Nation to come in and look at this that we covered in a video yesterday, the Sunny Hostin attack on Matt Gaetz and then subsequent correction, harshly on air, to see what the ladies thought about this. Let's find out how that went. Renegade Online.
It seems that Donald Trump and the incoming press secretary are looking to open up White House briefing room and press credentials to podcasters and YouTubers out there. So we could see people like Joe Rogan or somebody from his team, Tim Pool, somebody from his team. We're talking, I mean, it does just the fact that now that the podcasters are actually on the table, that is obviously souring the grapes of a lot of traditional legacy media. They are probably not too happy about it, although they're going to try to keep it tight-lipped. But one of the people that can't ever keep her mouth shut, there you go, Michelle's got the hat on now.
I mean, I felt like it was needed for this discussion, so I'll take it off in a minute.
I think you're right. Let's, if y'all haven't seen this, let's talk about this. We all know our friend Sunny Hostin on The View.
Oh
gosh, she's having the time of her life right now. For those
look at that
who don't know,
face.
She's so mentally stable. She's she's just got life together. What can we say about Sunny?
Yeah, and like I said before to folks in the video, if you look really, really carefully, you can actually see the very moment that a human being gets a new ass punched. Okay, watch this. She'll shift in the chair. You'll kind of see it. Just imagine the proctologist is there.
How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having sex with a 17-year-old? My understanding further.
She's talking about Congressman Matt Gaetz, who is up for a nomination for a cabinet position, namely United States Attorney General.
On in the interview, they discussed the fact that once he finds out that she's 17, he stops having sex with her. Sonny,
Here comes Whoopi.
Sonny.
Of course, she's got the IFB in her ear, and somebody at the producer's desk just told her, shut her up, and we have a statement she has to read from legal. This is probably somebody from upstairs in Disney's legal department.
You have a legal note. I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi.
The fact that she like scrunched her face before she read that too. Like, I fucking hate that I have to read this right now.
It's embarrassing live on TV.
It is.
Listen carefully to the grunt. The grunt.
Yeah.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. So here comes instant karma.
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
She hated her life. She hated that.
I had seen snippets of this. Like I watched her reaction. I knew what it was about. I hadn't seen the entire video. And so she had to, like, she knew she had to say this after what she had already said. Like, I thought that was like, basically she spoke and then they cut to commercial and then they had to come back on and she had to basically do this disclaimer.
Yes.
This actually happened together.
No. They were about 3 minutes apart. No, which
okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, who does that?
So So see this 3 minutes later at the bottom.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. Yeah,
they did. Yeah, they cut to what happened was they either had a natural commercial break or they had a floating one where they can pop in where they need to, or somebody from legal called down, compelled a commercial break at that moment because I didn't see exactly where it lined up in the entirety of the show. And they came back from commercial and then they went into this. So they went down and they handed her a statement to read. Obviously, somebody was afraid of something legal happening to them.
Well, you can't believe anything that this woman says. I mean, she is the offspring of slave owners, so.
It's true. It's true.
Yes.
So I can't believe anything she says.
The kind of thing, she goes in there with all these unfounded allegations. She's repeating things that have been floated out there for some time. And then this is the part that she really hates, is at the end, where she has to say that last part.
Smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
Ow. So it's basically like she had to read a statement and say, everything I just said before was bullshit. I mean, that's kind of, it's basically what you got here. So
This is what bothers me about The View, though, because this isn't the first time they've had to do this, right? I think there's plenty of clips that have gone around from The View from when, like, I think about Trump. They've had to, like, do multiple apologies or not apologies, but clarification of statements, right, in regards to Trump. I can't remember, like, a lot of them went viral, and I can't remember which ones they were exactly, but they've had to do this multiple times. And whenever, especially like in the past ones, I don't know about this one, but especially in the past ones, like Whoopi's like, oh, you have to make a statement. Yes, I do have to make a statement. And then you can kind of hear the audience laugh as if they're making these statements because people are whining, right? What they said was actually true, actually fact. And they have to clarify this because, oh, they're whining. Whoever we're talking about is whining about it. So we have to make this statement. That's what bothers me about this is it's not because what they're saying is wrong. It's because they don't believe that what they're saying is wrong, and neither does their audience. And they're having to make these statements because, oh, whoever is complaining about it. That's what bothers me about this is like their audience and they themselves are so brainwashed that they believe what they're saying is factual. And what they're reading it, but like gritting their teeth while reading it because they don't believe that what they're reading is fact. Right. Whatever opinion they have is what's fact. Whatever they're reading isn't fact. They want to believe their opinion more than what is actually real. That's what really bothers me about The View. That's why I hate them so much because they really buy into their bullshit.
Do you know what would be like Christmas come early for me? I would love to see Megyn Kelly go on The View. That would be an annihilation.
Oh yeah,
that would be.
Oh yeah,
it would be a slaughter.
I would love to see her on there.
And that's why they would never have her.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the problem. They in the past, with rare exception, they have generally brought in quote unquote Republicans, conservative women or whatever, but they're generally squishes. They generally don't like having people that are going to really push back hard every day.
Like if they had Candace Owen on there.
Well, and another reason too is it's like, who would want to be, I mean, Megyn Kelly, I'm just saying like one episode and done, but like, if you're like in any way conservative, eventually you would almost become silent because you're just getting berated every single day by 4 other women. Like eventually you just be like, what's the point?
Exactly. There's no point in having an alternative position or viewpoint as a person on that show because they will talk over you and they will make fun of you. And because of the fact that like Steph said, the audience is already on board with what they say. So they'll just get basically it would just be like that thing of shame where the stocks where they throw tomatoes at you. They basically, that's what it would be because the audience would be on the side of The View as well. So
yeah.
I think you could take it then.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't know, like, would a Megyn Kelly even want to do it? You think about, like, what Megyn Kelly is doing now independently. She has a tremendous amount of earning potential and indendependence ahead of her.
Oh, no. When I bring up Megyn Kelly, I mean just one appearance one day, like just to promote something, and she just happens to be on. Heck no, she's not going to be on that show forever. She's doing better things.
Yeah, and the show is dying. I mean, I think the biggest portion of that show's audience are honestly people like us watching YouTube clips on ABC's YouTube channel and making fun of it.
Yes,
which granted, they get some ad revenue out of that too, but still, it's like, is this really pushing your product? Are you growing, or are you Are you just becoming a laughingstock? Kind of like Jaguar. We'll talk
Now,
about that
with
later.
something I would like to ask is, with their decline in ratings, especially lately, have they started making statements on not renewing contracts yet for any of the hosts?
I have not seen anything yet. The thing with those hosts, though, I mean, they're pretty, and I'm speculating here. They're well established on the show. We know that much. Or at least I think most of them are. Obviously, Joy Behar is not going anywhere. Whoopi's not going anywhere. She's locked in. I think Sonny's been there a while too, right? So probably most of their contracts are several years. I mean, they usually sign in contracts 3, 4, 5 years. So I don't know when those contracts would come up for renewal. It seems to me unlikely that Disney would want to break any contracts because they'd have to pay a lot of money to get out of them. But from what I understand, it's like, I think these women are probably like, from what I've heard, like with Whoopi's contract, these women are vastly overpaid for what that show is actually producing in revenue. I would bet. I mean, this is more of a vanity project, I think, than anything for Disney. As I can't imagine they're making a ton of money on it. I could be totally wrong. It's not like most of these carriers ever break down, oh, here's how much money this show made, right? So you kind of have to feel it out. But,
Do you think that they bring on any of the pro-Trump people, like the rumors were saying? Do you think they would actually give in and do that?
I know they've done something like that in the past, but it's nothing consistent. Most of the show, the commentary, the editorial is all very, very one-sided, and that's it. That's their shtick. I don't know anybody that watches that show. Like most people, you find out, you say, "Hey, oh yeah, I watch the show sometimes. Oh, I watch the show fairly regularly." I've never met a soul in my life, and I'm not kidding, that watches that show.
The only people that I know that watch the show are YouTubers for content.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that might be their whole game is doing it that way just for
back in the day, I think people watched back when they had like who did they have in that original cast? Barbara Walters, I think, was even on.
Barbara Walters,
yeah. Like back then, it was more respected, and then it just totally went off the rails in late 2015.
Yeah, Barbara Walters and I think Joy Behar were the two founding hosts of The View.
Yes.
And then Barbara Walters retired, obviously, and then Joy's still there. What is it
She's
with the
such a
chicks?
joy.
Yeah, like her and Joy Reid. How are these two women named Joy, and both of them are miserable?
There's something called a misnomer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a good point. The irony of a name. I don't know what else to say about that. But I am excited about the whole issue of seeing what kind of YouTubers or who might get extended press credentials. I'm sure they'll have the ability to apply. I mean, you have the new non-traditional media out there. You have people like RightSide News on YouTube. You have Newsmax out there. People that are constantly covering things like this, covering the news. I mean, I wonder if they will be able to get press credentials for the White House under the new administration. I don't know. Is there anybody in particular that you guys would want to see sitting in the White House press briefing room or on the press junkets and in the press tours with the president?
DJ Cobra.
I was just thinking that.
I'm waiting for somebody to say it.
I'd love to see Jeremy there with his hoodie and his ripped jeans with the bottle on his hip.
Jeremy would be streaming it to Cobra Cast.
I think that's kind of the idea, honestly. I think that's kind of the idea. Now, but you got to remember, so I mean, you think about like the Tim Pools and you think about the Joe Rogans and some of these big channels that cover news and politics, like, and have been for years. I don't know if that individual talent would be in the press briefing. They probably have an employee because they can't leave and go follow the president around all day. So yeah, I'd love to see. Okay, Jeremy. Here's the deal.
Jeremy.
If you get, if Jeremy can get an actual press pass, if we can get Cobra Cast to get a press pass,
anything's possible.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.